The Galactic Council station floated in deep space. Inside, alien soldiers shared stories of war. Different species from across the galaxy. Some laughed. Others listened with serious faces. Then the heavy doors opened. Ambassador Chen walked in carrying something small in his arms. The room went quiet. Then someone started laughing. "What is that tiny thing?" Max yawned and stretched. He did not care about the aliens. "Look at it. So small and lazy." Then something changed. An old veteran stood up slowly. His face turned pale. "Stop. Do not underestimate that creature. You have never seen what those things can do. Let me tell you about Planet Zerath. Let me tell you what happened 20 years ago." The Galactic Council station floated in deep space like a giant metal flower. Inside the main hall, alien soldiers from across the galaxy gathered around large tables. They shared stories of battles and wars. Some laughed. Others listened with serious faces. The air smelled like metal and strange alien foods. The heavy doors opened with a soft hiss. Ambassador Chen walked into the hall. He carried a small orange cat in his arms. The cat had bright green eyes and soft ginger fur. His name was Max. The room went quiet for a moment. Then someone started laughing. "What is that tiny thing?" asked Commander Xyloth. He was a tall reptilian alien with dark green scales. His yellow eyes stared at the cat with confusion. Humans bring pets to war meetings. Other young soldiers joined the laughter. The sound echoed through the hall. Max yawned and stretched in the ambassador's arms. He did not care about the aliens. A young Kryn soldier pointed at the cat. "Look at it. So small and lazy. What does it even do? Just sleep and eat all day." More laughter filled the room. The humans at the table stayed silent. They smiled slightly but said nothing. Then something changed. An old Kravik veteran stood up slowly. His gray skin was covered in battle scars. His 3 eyes focused on Max. The veteran's face turned pale. His hands started shaking. The laughter died down. Everyone noticed his strange reaction. "Stop," the old veteran whispered. His voice was rough and low. "Do not underestimate that creature." The young soldiers looked confused. The veteran's eyes never left the cat. "You laugh now because you do not know. You have never seen what those things can do." The room became completely silent. Max purred softly. The veteran sat down slowly. He took a deep breath. "Let me tell you about Planet Zerath," he said. His voice was filled with old fear. "Let me tell you what happened 20 years ago." The lights in the hall seemed to grow dimmer. Everyone leaned forward to listen. The veteran's voice dropped to a whisper. Everyone in the council hall leaned closer. 20 years ago, I was stationed on Planet Zerath. It was supposed to be a simple mission. Guard a human colony. Easy money. He paused and stared at his hands. We were so wrong. Planet Zerath was covered in thick jungles. The trees grew so tall that sunlight barely reached the ground. Everything was dark and wet. Strange sounds echoed through the forest day and night. The human colonists built their homes near a river. They wanted to start a new life. They brought families. Children. And they brought cats. The Kravik veteran remembered his first day on that planet. I saw the humans unloading cargo ships. Food. Tools. Weapons. And then I saw the cages. Inside were dozens of cats. Orange ones. Black ones. White ones. All different colors and sizes. He shook his head. I asked the colony leader why they brought pets to such a dangerous planet. He just smiled and said nothing. The danger came quickly. Within the first week, 3 colonists disappeared. Search teams found their bodies near the jungle edge. Deep bite marks covered them. Massive serpent tracks surrounded the area. The locals called them Zerath vipers. These creatures were not normal snakes. They grew up to 15 feet long. Their scales were black like midnight. Their venom could kill in seconds. And they were smart. Very smart. The attacks increased. Every night, the vipers came closer to the colony. They moved through the darkness like liquid shadows. Human security systems could not detect them. The creatures knew how to avoid cameras and sensors. Fear spread through the colony. Parents kept their children inside. Guards patrolled constantly. But people kept dying. We tried everything, the veteran continued. His voice grew heavy with old memories. We set traps. We built higher walls. We used advanced alien technology. Nothing worked. The vipers were too clever. Too fast. The colony was failing. People wanted to leave. He looked directly at Max, the ginger cat. Then something strange happened. It started on a cold night. The veteran was on guard duty near a human family's home. The mother and father were sleeping. Their young daughter was in bed with a small ginger cat curled beside her. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Then the veteran saw movement near the window. A Zerath viper. Its massive body slid silently across the ground. It found a small gap under the door. The serpent began pushing its way inside. The veteran wanted to shoot but feared hitting the family. He started to move toward the house. Then he froze. Through the window, he saw something incredible. The ginger cat's head lifted. Its ears pointed straight up. The cat's eyes opened wide. In the darkness, those eyes reflected light like 2 green lamps. The cat did not meow. It did not run. It simply stared at the door where the viper was entering. The serpent's head emerged into the room. Its forked tongue tasted the air. It sensed the sleeping humans. Easy prey. The viper pulled more of its body inside. 3 feet. 4 feet. 5 feet of deadly muscle and venom entered that small room. But the cat remained completely still. Watching. Calculating. Waiting. I have seen many predators in my life, the veteran said softly. But what I saw next changed everything I thought I knew about hunting. The cat moved. But it did not run away. It jumped down from the bed without making a single sound. Its paws touched the floor like falling feathers. The viper sensed movement and turned its massive head. The serpent was 10 times larger than the cat. Any sane creature would have fled. The cat's body changed. Its back arched. Its fur stood up making it look bigger. Its tail puffed out like a bottle brush. But its eyes. Those eyes locked onto the viper with pure focus. The cat made a low sound. Not a meow. Something deeper. Something ancient. A warning from one predator to another. The Zerath viper struck. Its head shot forward with incredible speed. The veteran's heart stopped. He thought the cat was dead. But the ginger cat twisted its body in midair. The viper's fangs closed on empty space. The cat landed on the serpent's back. Its claws dug deep into the scales. The viper thrashed violently, trying to throw the cat off. The room erupted in chaos. Furniture flew. The family woke up screaming. The veteran burst through the door. But he could not get a clear shot. The cat and viper moved too fast. They were a blur of orange fur and black scales. Then suddenly, it was over. The cat's teeth found the back of the viper's neck. Right where the spine met the skull. The serpent's body went limp. Dead. The ginger cat stood on top of the massive dead viper. Its chest moved up and down from heavy breathing. Blood stained its orange fur. But it was not the cat's blood. The family stared in shock. The veteran stared in shock. This small creature had just killed a predator many times its size. And it did not even look surprised. It simply sat down and began cleaning its paws. That night changed everything, the veteran said to the silent council hall. Word spread through the colony. The cats were not pets. They were weapons. Living weapons that humans had evolved alongside for thousands of years. He paused and looked around the room. Within 2 months, the Zerath viper population dropped by 70%. The cats hunted them. Day and night. Without mercy. Without fear. Max purred louder in Ambassador Chen's arms. The old veteran's hands still shook slightly. You laugh at that small creature, he said to the young soldiers. But I know the truth. I have seen it with my own eyes. That innocent-looking cat is a perfect killing machine. He stood up slowly. And if humans can bond with such predators as companions, imagine what else they are capable of. The room remained completely silent. Outside the windows, stars glittered in the endless darkness of space. And somewhere in that darkness, humans and their cats were spreading across the galaxy together. A young Xyloth soldier raised his hand. But veteran, you said one cat killed one snake. That does not prove they are dangerous. Maybe it was just luck. Other young soldiers nodded in agreement. The veteran smiled sadly. I thought the same thing. Until the next morning. The colony's chief scientist was a woman named Dr. Sarah Mitchell. She heard about the dead viper in the family's home. She arrived early to examine the body. The veteran watched her work. Dr. Mitchell measured the bite marks on the serpent's neck. She studied the claw wounds. Then she looked at the ginger cat sitting calmly in the corner. Her face went pale. This is not possible, she whispered. The veteran asked what she meant. Dr. Mitchell pointed at the viper's neck. Look at the bite placement. Perfect precision. The cat hit the exact spot that would sever the spinal cord instantly. No struggle. No pain. Just death. She looked at her computer screen. This is not luck. This is millions of years of evolution. That morning, Dr. Mitchell called an emergency meeting with all the colonists who owned cats. She asked them questions. How do your cats behave at night? Do they bring you dead animals? Do they watch birds through windows for hours? The answers painted a clear picture. These small creatures were not simple pets. They were hunters who never stopped hunting. Even when they were well fed. Even when they were safe and comfortable. The instinct never died. The veteran remembered watching Dr. Mitchell set up cameras around the colony. She wanted to study the cats in action. That night, 15 cameras recorded the darkness. What they captured was terrifying and beautiful at the same time. A black cat stalked a Zerath viper through tall grass. The cat's body stayed low to the ground. Each paw placed carefully. Silently. The viper had no idea death was coming. When the cat finally struck, it was over in 3 seconds. Bite to the neck. Perfect kill. The cat dragged the massive serpent back to its owner's door like a gift. Another camera showed a white cat named Ghost. She sat perfectly still near a tree for 2 hours. Not moving. Barely breathing. Just waiting. A viper slithered past. The moment it came within range, Ghost exploded into action. Claws. Teeth. Speed. The serpent never had a chance. I counted the footage, the veteran told the council. In one night, 7 cats killed 11 vipers. Not because they were hungry. They hunted because that is what they were born to do. Dr. Mitchell's research revealed more shocking truths. Cat eyes could see in almost total darkness. Their ears could hear frequencies that most aliens could not detect. Their whiskers felt air movements from prey. They had flexible spines that let them twist in impossible ways. Their claws were retractable weapons, always sharp, always ready. And their reflexes were faster than almost any creature in the known galaxy. The cats were not just pets. They were perfectly designed killing machines. The colony leadership made a decision. They sent a message to Earth requesting more cats. Within 3 months, 50 more cats arrived on Zerath. Orange cats. Gray cats. Striped cats. Spotted cats. All different sizes and colors. But all shared the same deadly instincts. The human families welcomed them. The cats spread throughout the colony and into the jungle itself. The Zerath vipers began to disappear. The veteran remembered walking through areas that used to be extremely dangerous. Now they were safe. Dead vipers lay scattered across the jungle floor. All killed the same way. Precise bite to the neck. The cats were not just defending the colony. They were actively hunting down the vipers. Eliminating them. Claiming the territory as their own. One night, the veteran witnessed something that gave him nightmares for years. 3 cats working together to hunt a massive 15-foot viper. The largest serpent anyone had ever seen. A ginger cat distracted the viper from the front. A black cat circled around the side. A gray cat climbed a tree above. They moved with silent coordination. Like they had done this 1,000 times before. When they attacked, it was synchronized. Perfect teamwork. The giant viper died within minutes. That is when I understood the real truth, the veteran said. His voice shook with old fear. These cats were not just individual hunters. They could work as a team. They could plan. They could strategize. And humans had lived with these creatures for 10,000 years. Sleeping beside them. Playing with them. Trusting them completely. He looked around at the shocked faces. What kind of species can bond with apex predators as friends? Dr. Mitchell's final report was sent to the Galactic Council. It contained video footage, scientific data, and behavioral analysis. The conclusion was clear: domestic cats were one of Earth's most successful predators. They had spread to every continent on their home planet. They had adapted to every environment. Desert. Jungle. City. Mountain. And now they were spreading to other planets. Following humans wherever they went. Always hunting. Always watching. Always waiting. A Kryn soldier interrupted the veteran's story. But they are still small. We are bigger. Stronger. We have weapons and armor. Why should we fear something so tiny? The veteran's 3 eyes focused on the soldier. His voice became cold. Because size does not matter when you are asleep. When you are distracted. When you let your guard down for just 1 second. He paused. And I have not told you about the Kryn War yet. About what happened when your people made the mistake of attacking a human base protected by cats. The council hall became even quieter. The Kryn soldier's mandibles clicked nervously. Max the ginger cat yawned again, showing his tiny sharp teeth. Ambassador Chen stroked the cat's soft fur. The veteran sat back down slowly. You want to know why we respect these creatures? He asked. Let me tell you about the night when 50 Kryn infiltrators tried to breach a human military base. Let me tell you what happened when they met the patrol cats. The lights in the hall dimmed slightly. Outside the massive windows, a transport ship passed by, its lights blinking in the darkness. Inside, every alien soldier waited for the next part of the story. They had stopped laughing. They had stopped mocking. Now they only felt curiosity mixed with growing dread. The veteran took a deep breath. This is where the story gets truly terrifying, he whispered. The veteran's voice grew darker. The Kryn War happened 5 years after Zerath. Your people, he pointed at the Kryn soldier, decided that human colonies were weak targets. You thought you could take our supplies, our weapons, our territory. He leaned forward. You did not know about the cats. The human military base on planet Kellier 9 was small. Only 40 soldiers guarded the weapons depot. The base commander was a quiet man named Captain Rodriguez. He had brought his ginger cat named Tiger from Earth. Tiger was fat and lazy during the day. He slept on the captain's desk. He ate expensive food. The soldiers joked that Tiger was the most spoiled cat in the galaxy. But at night, Tiger changed. The Kryn High Command planned the attack for months. They studied the base. They counted the guards. They mapped the security systems. The plan was perfect. Send 50 elite infiltrators during the darkest hour of night. Disable the alarms. Kill the guards silently. Steal everything. Be gone before sunrise. Simple. Clean. Effective. But they made one critical mistake. They did not count the cats. Captain Rodriguez had not just brought Tiger. Other soldiers had brought their cats too. A black cat named Shadow. A white cat named Snow. A gray cat named Smoke. A brown tabby named Patch. 5 cats total. The Kryn planners saw them in surveillance footage. They laughed. The humans protect their base with house pets. The laughter would not last long. The veteran paused and looked directly at the Kryn soldier. I was part of the second wave. We were supposed to join the infiltrators after they secured the base. But we received no signal. No communication. Nothing. He closed his eyes, remembering. When we finally entered the base at dawn, we found something impossible. The human guards were all alive. Not a single casualty. But the 50 Kryn infiltrators were gone. Vanished. The veteran and his team searched everywhere. Then they found the bodies. All 50 infiltrators. Dead. Scattered around the base perimeter. Every single one killed by bite wounds to the neck. The same precise strike. The same perfect placement. The same hunting technique. But that was not the most disturbing part. The veteran's voice dropped to barely a whisper. The cats were sitting on top of the bodies. Like they were guarding trophies. Tiger sat on the largest Kryn soldier's chest. The ginger cat stared at us with those green eyes. Cold. Calculating. Emotionless. He shuddered. I have fought in 20 battles. I have faced death many times. But that stare. That look in the cat's eyes. It was pure predator. No mercy. No fear. Just cold hunting instinct. One of the dead infiltrators had claw marks all over his armor. The marks formed a pattern. The veteran's team analyzed it later. The cat had jumped on the soldier's back. Climbed up to his neck. Ignored all the armor. Found the one weak spot where the helmet connected to the body suit. Bit down. Severed the spinal cord. Perfect kill. That level of intelligence, the veteran said slowly, is terrifying. The cat knew exactly where to attack. It studied the armor. Found the weakness. Executed with precision. Dr. Mitchell was called to investigate. She examined the bodies and interviewed Captain Rodriguez. The captain told her something chilling. I did not order the cats to do anything. I was asleep. We all were. The infiltrators never even reached the inner base. The cats detected them first. Hunted them down. Killed them all. Then came back inside like nothing happened. He paused. Tiger climbed back onto my desk. Started purring. Like he had just been playing with a toy. The veteran explained more. We studied Earth's history after that. We learned that cats were worshipped as gods in ancient human civilizations. The Egyptians built temples for them. Why? Because cats protected human food supplies from rats and snakes. They killed pests that carried disease. They guarded human children from dangerous animals. For thousands of years, humans and cats lived together. Helping each other. Trusting each other. But there was something else. Something deeper and more frightening. Dr. Mitchell discovered that a cat's stare triggered fear responses in many species. Not just prey animals. Even predators. Even sentient beings like the Kryn and Kravik. The veteran experienced it himself. One day, I walked too close to Tiger's food bowl. The cat turned and stared at me. Just stared. I am a trained soldier. I have killed enemies with my bare hands. But that stare made me freeze. My body would not move. My warrior instincts screamed danger. A small voice in my head said, "You are prey." The council hall was completely silent. Every alien present understood what the veteran meant. They had all felt that stare before. From predators on their home worlds. From enemies in battle. From death itself. Max purred louder in the ambassador's arms. His green eyes swept across the room slowly. Several young soldiers shifted uncomfortably in their seats. That is the psychological weapon, the veteran continued. Cats do not just kill with claws and teeth. They kill with presence. With patience. With that cold, calculating stare that says, "I can wait. I can watch. And when you let your guard down, I will strike." He stood up again. The Kryn lost 50 elite soldiers that night. But they learned the same lesson I learned on Zerath. Never. Ever. Underestimate a cat. A female Xyloth officer raised her hand. Her voice trembled slightly. "But veteran, you said cats are companions to humans. Why do they protect their owners so fiercely? Why do they kill for them?" The veteran smiled for the first time. That is the final part of this story. That is the most frightening truth of all. Let me tell you why cats choose to stay with humans. Why they hunt for them. Why they bond with the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Ambassador Chen spoke for the first time. His voice was calm and steady. Cats are not our slaves. They are not our pets. They are our partners. He held up Max for everyone to see. My cat could survive alone. He could hunt his own food. He could live wild in any forest or jungle. But he stays with me by choice. He protects me by choice. He trusts me by choice. The ambassador's eyes swept across the council. Any species that can earn the loyalty of an apex predator should never be underestimated. The veteran nodded slowly. When I returned to my home world, I told my commanders everything. They did not believe me at first. So I showed them the footage. The data. The evidence. They watched those cats hunt in the darkness. They saw the precision. The teamwork. The intelligence. He paused. Now our military studies human-cat relationships. We try to understand how they bonded. How they communicate. How they trust each other so completely. Max jumped down from the ambassador's lap. The ginger cat walked across the table slowly. His tail was high. His movements were confident. Every alien in the room watched him carefully. Max stopped in front of the Kryn soldier who had laughed earlier. The cat sat down and stared up at the tall insect-like warrior. For 10 long seconds, neither moved. Then Max turned away, as if the soldier was not worth his attention. The Kryn warrior let out a breath he did not know he was holding. "That is dominance," the veteran said quietly. "That cat just showed that soldier who is really in control. Not with violence. Not with threats. Just with presence and confidence. He sat back down heavily. I have told you about Zerath. About the Kryn War. About the hunting skills and the psychological power. But there is one more thing you need to understand about cats and humans. The lights in the council hall slowly brightened again. Outside, another ship passed by silently. Inside, every being present had changed their opinion. The laughter was gone. The mockery was forgotten. Now there was only respect. And fear. And curiosity. The veteran took a drink of water. His hands were steadier now. The old memories were painful, but he had survived them. Let me tell you the final truth, he said. Let me tell you what makes humans truly dangerous in this galaxy. The veteran's expression darkened. What I am about to tell you is classified military information. But after 20 years, the truth needs to be shared. He looked around the council hall. During the Kryn War, humans did not just use cats for base defense. They weaponized them. Planet Kellier 9 was not the only battle. The Kryn forces attacked 12 human colonies simultaneously. It was supposed to be a crushing blow. A demonstration of Kryn military power. But the humans had prepared. Not with more soldiers or bigger weapons. They prepared with cats. Hundreds of cats. Deployed to every colony. Every military installation. Every vulnerable location. The Kryn intelligence completely missed this defense strategy. The largest battle happened on Colony 7. A human settlement with 5,000 civilians and only 200 soldiers. The Kryn sent 1,000 warriors. The mission was simple: overwhelm the defenders with superior numbers. Attack at night when humans are weakest. The Kryn commanders were confident. Victory seemed certain. But Captain Rodriguez and Tiger were stationed at Colony 7. And they were not alone. The veteran himself was part of the Kryn assault team. I volunteered because I wanted to understand humans better. I wanted to see how they fought. He laughed bitterly. I got my wish. But not in the way I expected. The attack began at midnight. 1,000 Kryn soldiers moved through the dark forest surrounding Colony 7. They used advanced stealth technology. No sound. No light. No thermal signature. Perfect infiltration. Or so they thought. Inside the colony, the human soldiers were sleeping. The civilians were in their homes. Everything looked peaceful. But on the rooftops, along the walls, in the shadows, cats were watching. Dozens of them. Ginger cats. Black cats. Gray cats. Tabby cats. All different colors and sizes. Their eyes glowed softly in the darkness. Their ears turned toward the forest. They heard something the human sensors could not detect. The sound of Kryn soldiers breathing. The slight rustle of armor against leaves. The almost silent footsteps. Tiger sat on the highest watchtower. The fat ginger cat that soldiers joked about during the day. But now his body was tense. Alert. His tail twitched once. Then twice. Then he made a sound. Not a meow. A low chirping noise that other cats recognized. An alarm call. Within seconds, every cat in the colony was moving. Taking positions. Preparing to defend their territory. The first Kryn soldier to reach the colony wall never saw what killed him. He climbed silently. His claws gripped the metal perfectly. He pulled himself up. His head cleared the wall's edge. And then a black cat named Midnight struck. Claws across the eyes. Teeth on the throat. The soldier fell backward without a sound. His squad mates heard nothing. They kept advancing. One by one, cats picked them off. Silent kills. Perfect precision. Deadly efficiency. The veteran remembered his position in the attack. I was in the third wave. We were supposed to breach the eastern wall. But when we arrived, we found our forward scouts dead. 20 soldiers. All killed the same way. Bite to the neck. And sitting on the wall above us were 5 cats. Just sitting there. Staring down at us with those glowing eyes. He paused. We should have retreated. But our commander ordered us forward. That was his last order. The cats did not wait for the Kryn soldiers to climb. They jumped down. From 15 feet high. They landed on soldiers' backs. On their helmets. On their shoulders. Chaos erupted. Kryn warriors swung their weapons wildly. But hitting a cat in the dark was impossible. They moved too fast. Twisted too quickly. They knew exactly where to bite. Where to claw. Where to strike to cause maximum damage. The veteran watched 3 cats take down a soldier twice their size. One distracted from the front. One attacked from behind. One went for the neck. Teamwork. Strategy. Intelligence. Captain Rodriguez woke up to the sound of battle. But it was not the battle he expected. His soldiers were not fighting. They were watching in amazement. Through the security cameras, they saw cats hunting Kryn soldiers throughout the colony perimeter. Tiger stood beside the captain, purring loudly. "Good boy," Rodriguez whispered. The ginger cat had detected the invasion before any alarm. Had alerted the other cats. Had organized the defense. Without any human command. The Kryn forces tried different tactics. They sent flying units to bypass the walls. But cats had incredible jumping abilities. They leaped from rooftops and caught the flying soldiers in midair. They sent underground diggers to tunnel beneath the colony. But cats heard the digging sounds. They waited at the tunnel exits. Ambushed the diggers as they emerged. They even tried chemical weapons. But cats' sensitive noses detected the gas before it spread. They yowled and hissed, warning the humans who immediately sealed the colony's ventilation. The veteran's voice grew quiet. "I survived only because I played dead. A gray cat named Smoke attacked me. Clawed my armor. Bit my neck guard. But my armor held. I fell and did not move. The cat sniffed me. Checked if I was still breathing. Then it left to hunt other soldiers. I lay there for 2 hours. Listening to my comrades die. One by one. Silently. Efficiently. When the sun finally rose, I saw the truth. 870 Kryn soldiers dead. The cats had killed almost our entire force. And the human soldiers had barely fired a shot. The numbers were shocking. But the method was even more terrifying. The cats had not attacked randomly. They targeted squad leaders first. Then communication specialists. Then heavy weapons operators. They disabled the Kryn army's command structure before killing the regular soldiers. That level of tactical thinking, the veteran said, should not exist in an animal. But cats are not simple animals. They are hunters who evolved alongside the galaxy's most dangerous predator, humans. Dr. Mitchell studied the battle footage afterward. She discovered something remarkable. The cats did not just fight independently. They worked as a coordinated unit. When one cat engaged a target, others provided support. When a cat was injured, others covered its retreat. When Kryn soldiers formed defensive positions, cats surrounded them and attacked from multiple angles simultaneously. It was like watching a professional military operation, Dr. Mitchell reported. Except the soldiers were small, furry, and weighed less than 10 pounds each. The Kryn High Command received the battle reports and refused to believe them. How could house pets destroy trained warriors? They sent investigators. The investigators watched the recordings. Saw the bodies. Interviewed the few survivors like the veteran. Their conclusion was simple: cats were biological weapons. Living, thinking, hunting weapons that humans had somehow domesticated. The Kryn immediately sued for peace. They did not want to fight an enemy that deployed apex predators as frontline defenders. Other alien species learned from the Kryn's mistake. The Xyloth Empire sent diplomatic gifts to human colonies. The Dravic Confederacy offered trade agreements. The Kellyan Republic proposed military alliances. Everyone wanted to stay on good terms with humans. Not because of human weapons or technology, but because of what humans could bond with. If they could turn predators into loyal companions, what else were they capable of? The veteran stood up one final time. I have shown you their hunting skills, their teamwork, their intelligence. But there is one more truth you must understand. He walked to where Max sat grooming himself. The ginger cat paused and looked up at the tall Kravic warrior. For a moment, predator and veteran locked eyes. Then the veteran slowly extended his hand. Max sniffed it. Considered. Then rubbed his head against the veteran's palm. Purring. This, the veteran said softly, is the most dangerous thing about cats. They can switch from deadly hunter to gentle companion in seconds. They can kill 50 soldiers at night and then play with a child in the morning. That duality. That balance between violence and affection. That is what makes them perfect partners for humans. He scratched behind Max's ears. The cat purred louder. Ambassador Chen smiled. The veteran understands now. It took him 20 years and many nightmares. But he understands. The ambassador picked up Max again. My cat is not a weapon. He is family. But if someone threatens me, he becomes death itself. That loyalty cannot be programmed. Cannot be bought. It must be earned through mutual respect and love. The young Xyloth soldier who laughed at the beginning stood up. Ambassador, I must apologize. I was ignorant. I did not understand. Other young soldiers nodded in agreement. The mockery was gone. Replaced by genuine respect. And perhaps a little healthy fear. Max yawned, showing his tiny fangs. The soldiers all took an instinctive step backward. The veteran returned to his seat. His hands no longer shook. His 3 eyes were calm. You asked why we should fear something so small, he said to the Kryn soldier. Now you know. Size means nothing when you have speed, intelligence, and 10,000 years of evolution creating the perfect hunter. He paused. And when that perfect hunter chooses to protect humans, that makes humans the most formidable species in the galaxy. The council hall's lights returned to normal brightness. Outside, the stars continued their eternal dance. Inside, a shift had occurred. Every alien present now saw humans differently. Not as weak or sentimental for keeping pets, but as strong and wise for earning the loyalty of apex predators. The laughter would never return. Only respect remained. The silence in the council hall stretched for several long seconds. Then a new voice spoke. It was an ancient Kellyan elder who had been sitting quietly in the corner. Veteran, you have told us about the hunting. About the killing. About the fear. But you have not answered the real question. Her old eyes focused on Max. Why do cats stay with humans? Why do they protect them? What do humans give cats in return? Ambassador Chen placed Max gently on the table. The ginger cat stretched lazily. His orange fur caught the light. That is the question every species asks, the ambassador said. The answer is simple, but most beings cannot accept it. Cats stay with us because they want to. Not because they need to. Because they want to. The Kellyan elder tilted her head. Explain. The ambassador smiled. 10,000 years ago on Earth, cats lived wild. They hunted alone. They survived alone. They needed no one. Then humans started farming. Growing grain. storing food. And that grain attracted mice and rats. Thousands of them. The cats smelled easy prey. They came to human settlements not for us, but for the hunting. He paused. We did not domesticate cats. They domesticated themselves. Dr. Mitchell's research had proven this. Cats chose to live near humans. They killed the pests that destroyed human food. In return, humans gave them shelter, warmth, safety. It was a partnership, not ownership. You cannot force a cat to love you, the ambassador continued. You cannot train a cat like a dog. You cannot command a cat to obey. A cat decides if you are worthy of its presence. If you earn its trust, it will stay. If you do not, it will leave. That simple fact makes the human-cat bond unique in the galaxy. The veteran nodded slowly. I have studied many species that keep animals. The Xyloth breed war beasts. The Dravik clone workers. The Kryn enslave creatures for labor. But humans? They share their homes with predators as equals. That is what makes them dangerous. They do not fear strength. They respect it. A young Kravik soldier raised his hand nervously. But ambassador, how do you trust them? How do you sleep knowing a predator is in your home? What stops them from killing you? Ambassador Chen laughed. Trust is earned on both sides. I feed Max. I give him comfortable places to sleep. I play with him. I respect his independence. In return, he protects me. He keeps me company. He trusts me with his life. He gestured at the ginger cat. Max could leave any time. Walk out that door and survive alone. But he stays. That loyalty is worth more than any weapon. The council hall's main screen suddenly activated. It showed footage from a human home on Earth. A small human child, maybe 3 years old, playing with a ginger cat. The child pulled the cat's tail. Hugged too tight. Fell on the cat accidentally. The cat never attacked. Never scratched. Never bit. It simply moved away gently. Then came back for more play. That is restraint, the ambassador said quietly. That cat could kill that child in seconds. But it chooses not to. It understands the child is family. Is protected. Is loved. Another video played. A different cat saving a toddler from falling downstairs. The cat positioned its body as a barrier. Meowed loudly to alert the parents. Stayed with the child until help came. Cats do not just hunt for us, the ambassador explained. They guard our children. They comfort us when we are sad. They sense when we are sick. They are not servants. They are companions. Friends. Family. The veteran spoke again. After the Kryn War, I returned to Colony 7. I wanted to understand. Captain Rodriguez let me observe Tiger for a month. I watched that ginger cat sleep on the captain's bed. Purr when scratched. Play with a string like it was the greatest toy in the universe. He smiled sadly. Then one night, an alarm went off. Intruder detected. Tiger transformed instantly. From sleepy pet to deadly hunter in 1 second. He found the intruder before security did. It was just a lost colonist who took a wrong turn. But Tiger had been ready to kill if needed. That duality amazed me. Max walked across the table toward the Xyloth officer who had asked about trust. The cat stopped in front of her. Looked up with those green eyes. The officer's hand trembled as she reached down slowly. Max allowed her to touch his head. He purred. The officer's face showed shock. It is warm, she whispered. Soft. I expected something cold. Reptilian. But it is warm and alive and gentle. Max rubbed against her hand. How can something that kills so efficiently be so affectionate? Because cats are not machines, Ambassador Chen answered. They feel emotions. They experience joy, fear, love, and anger. Just like us. That is why we connect with them. That is why the bond is so strong. We are both apex predators. Both social and solitary. Both capable of great violence and great compassion. We understand each other on a level that most species cannot comprehend. The Kellyan elder stood up with difficulty. Her aged body moved slowly. She approached the table where Max sat. In my youth, I visited Earth. I was terrified of the animals there. Bears. Wolves. Tigers. Lions. All dangerous. All deadly. But the scariest were the small ones. The spiders. The snakes. The cats. She reached out one wrinkled hand. Max sniffed it carefully. Then he bumped his head against her palm. The elder gasped. Such power in such a small body. Such confidence. Such presence. That is what humans saw 10,000 years ago, the ambassador said. They saw strength. Independence. Hunting skill. And they thought, we want to be allies with this creature. Not masters. Not owners. Allies. He picked up Max again. The cat settled into his arms comfortably. Every cat chooses its human. Every human earns their cat's trust. That mutual choice creates a bond stronger than any leash or cage or command. The veteran looked around at all the alien faces. Young and old. Different species. Different cultures. But all sharing the same expression now. Understanding. When I first arrived on Zerath, I laughed at the humans bringing cats. I thought they were foolish. Sentimental. Weak. He paused. Now I know the truth. They are strategic. They are wise. They are strong enough to share their lives with predators and call them friends. Ambassador Chen addressed the entire council. You ask why humans are successful in the galaxy. Why we adapt so quickly. Why we survive in hostile environments. The answer is simple. We learned 10,000 years ago to partner with nature instead of conquering it. We learned to respect other species. To earn their trust. To build relationships based on mutual benefit. He held up Max. This cat represents that philosophy. He is not our slave. He is our teacher. He shows us how to be patient. How to observe. How to strike when necessary. How to rest when safe. Max meowed once. Clear and loud. The sound echoed through the council hall. Every being present understood. It was not a plea. Not a cry for help. It was a statement. A declaration. I am here. I exist. I matter. The veteran smiled. That is the voice of a creature that fears nothing. That bows to no one. That lives on its own terms. And humans have lived with that voice for 10,000 years. What does that tell you about human courage? The young soldiers who had mocked the cat earlier stood together. They approached the ambassador. Sir, we apologize for our ignorance. We did not understand the significance of the human-cat bond. We were foolish. The ambassador nodded graciously. You are young. You learn. That is good. Remember this lesson. Never judge by size. Never mock what you do not understand. And never underestimate the bonds others have formed. The Kryn soldier spoke last. Ambassador, I must ask. Are there other creatures like cats on Earth? Other predators that humans have bonded with? Ambassador Chen's smile widened. Oh yes. Dogs that can track scents across miles. Birds of prey that hunt from the sky. Horses that carry us into battle. Snakes that guard temples. Even wolves that humans turned into loyal companions. He paused for effect. Earth is a death world. Predators everywhere. And humans made friends with many of them. That is what makes us unique in the galaxy. The council hall erupted in quiet discussion. Aliens talking to each other in hushed voices. The implications were enormous. If humans could bond with predators, they could potentially bond with anyone. Any species. Any culture. That made them valuable allies. And dangerous enemies. The political calculations shifted in real time. The veteran walked to Ambassador Chen. They shook hands in the human custom. "Thank you for letting me tell this story," the veteran said. "For 20 years, I have carried these memories. The fear. The respect. The understanding. Now others know. Now they will not make the same mistakes we made." The ambassador clasped his shoulder. "You honor the memory of those who died. Both Kryn and human. War is terrible. But learning from it is noble." Max jumped from the ambassador's arms onto the veteran's shoulder. The old Kravik warrior froze. The cat's claws gripped his uniform gently. Max's face came close to the veteran's. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Predator to warrior. Hunter to soldier. Then Max purred. Loud and content. The veteran's eyes filled with tears. "He forgives me," he whispered. "After everything, he forgives." Ambassador Chen's voice was soft. "Cats do not hold grudges. They live in the present. You respect him now. That is enough." Max climbed down and returned to the ambassador. The veteran touched his shoulder where the cat had sat. "I will never forget this moment," he said. "I will tell my people. Cats are not to be feared or mocked. They are to be respected. Honored. Protected." The Galactic Council session officially ended. Delegates began leaving the hall. But they moved slowly. Carefully. Many stopped to observe Max one more time. Some took recordings. Others simply watched in silence. The ginger cat yawned again. Stretched his back in a perfect arch. Then curled up in the ambassador's arms and closed his eyes. Ready to sleep. Ready to dream. Ready to hunt again when needed. Outside the council station, ships departed in all directions. Each carried new knowledge. New understanding. New respect for the small creatures that humans called friends. The story of Max and Tiger and Shadow and all the other cats would spread across the galaxy. It would become legend. A warning. A lesson. Never underestimate what you do not understand. Never mock what others love. And never, ever laugh at a cat. Ambassador Chen returned to his quarters. He placed Max in a soft bed. The cat immediately started purring. "Good boy," the ambassador whispered. "You changed minds today. You showed them the truth. That strength comes in many forms. That loyalty cannot be forced. That love must be earned." Max's purr grew louder. His orange fur rose and fell with each breath. Peaceful. Content. Deadly. Perfect. The veteran sat alone in his ship. He looked at the claw marks on his shoulder. Small punctures in the fabric. Gentle but firm. A reminder. A gift. A message. He pulled up his personal logs and began recording. Day 7852 after Zerath. Today I told the story. Today I shared the truth. Today a cat forgave me. Perhaps now I can forgive myself. He closed the log. Outside his window, stars stretched forever. And somewhere among those stars, humans and cats explored together. Partners. Friends. Family. The final image showed Earth from space. The blue and green planet where cats and humans first met. Where they learned to trust each other. Where they built a bond that would spread across galaxies. The camera zoomed in on a small house. Inside, a child slept peacefully. Beside the child, a ginger cat kept watch. Eyes half closed. Ears alert. Ready to purr. Ready to play. Ready to kill if needed. That was the power of the human-cat bond. That was the truth the galaxy now understood. That small, warm, purring creature was both gentle companion and deadly guardian. Both pet and predator. Both friend and warrior. And humanity, the species wise enough to earn such loyalty, would never be underestimated again.
Thank you for watching HFY Sci-fi. If this story kept you hooked, please like, subscribe and share it with fellow and Sci-fi fans. Part 2 of this series drops next week, so make sure you are subscribed with notification on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the stars.